Fred here with Lead Balls 44. The tools you're going to need when you're taking apart the old Army Ruger Blackpowder are going to be 4 different size flatheads. You're going to need a pick, standard punch pen size to retain my hammer spring. You can also use an Allen wrench if it's the same size or if it fits in there. And if you want to get technical, most of the time you can use a paper clip to slide in there to hold it while you got the tension on it. I'm going to do a little demonstration of why you should take apart your black powder. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, make sure it's unloaded. You're not going to leave your black powder loaded. It's not a good idea. You could have issues later. Then we're going to take a flathead screwdriver, make sure it fits. If you use the wrong one, it'll strip the edges. So this one is too small. It wiggles in the, and if there's any tension on there, you're going to round the edges, and then you're going to have to take this off and sand it down with sandpaper because you got a burr that's going to grab your hand. And we turn it 1 turn counterclockwise. 1 turn counterclockwise on the front detent that holds the loading rod in. Pull straight forward. And all 3 pieces will come out. The good news is you can't put them back together wrong. Do a half cock. Gently pull the trigger and your cylinder will roll out and you'll have your cylinder out. This is going to be the easy part. This is what everybody gets clean, no problem, because you can drop this in a Sonic or scrub this really good with hot soapy water or Simple Green. And you can use 5% Blistol and water to clean this and it'll help clean it. But like I said, this is what everybody gets clean. What we're showing you today is what everybody doesn't get clean. This gun looks clean generally. It has a little bit, you can see it right here on the top, of leftover black powder residue, which isn't a big deal. But like I said, generally this looks clean. Even down in here looks fairly clean. But once we take this apart, you're going to see why it's not clean. May seem monotonous and forever, but be careful with your wood grips because it's not lickety split to refinish those. If you scuff this edge with a flathead screwdriver, it's not lickety split to fix that. So take your time taking your grips off. Now, the most dangerous part is this hammer spring. You're going to cock it back. You have a hole at the bottom. You're going to put something in this hole and then let your hammer forward to take the pressure off. Don't stick your hand in there or your fingers anywhere in here till you take the pressure off. Now the spring is retained because the pressure is pushed down with your pen. No spring tension. Our spring's completely out. Ooh, first try. Got the right size. This gun is stainless steel, which it stays very clean, but it's not as tough as some of the other steels, so don't scratch it up with your screwdriver. And as you can see, this one's actually dirty that came out of the frame of the gun. Believe it or not, there's black powder residue in the screw that was in the gun. Like I said, I can't stress how important it is to have the right size screwdriver for the screws you're doing, because people come in all gun stores all the time trying to order screws or find screws because they've burgered them up. And once you start, it only gets worse. And most of the time, like in this venture I'm doing right now, all 5 of these screws are the same size head, because you take the 3 on the bottom out and then you take the 2 on the back out. And you just hold it firm. There's a little spring in there. We just don't want it to come out. Same thing, dirty as well. I don't know how well you can see that, but it shouldn't be black. We're going to go straight down so the trigger slides out. This is what I was telling you about. Right here, the amount of dirt and black powder residue that's in there is atrocious. If you leave that in there, eventually it will corrode and break down the stainless steel. It's stainless steel. It's not rust proof. It's not corrosion proof. It's stainless. Put a little pin and spring from behind our hammer, and this whole piece can go in the Sonic. All my little springs and pieces are out. Pretty focused. Same thing. All this up in here is stuff you can't see. And a lot of times you're cleaning a black powder with hot water and soap, and like I said, you can use 5%, no more than 5% of Blistol with hot water, and it'll break that down. But people don't realize, watch this. Eee! That's in your, yeah, you can't leave that in your gun for years. When you try and get your son and grandson to inherit this gun, it's going to be rusted and the parts inside will start to break down. So we're going to pull a couple more parts out and it'll be ready, and you can just drop the whole thing in the Sonic. And like I said, this spring retain piece and the one behind the trigger, pretty much it. And then we're going to need, yep, it wiggles, so I'm going to need the next size up. We're going different screw, different size. And the different size will go all the way to the bottom of the screw. Both of these, and then we're going to see, which I probably need a wider screwdriver. Nope, next size up and a wider for that hammer screw. Basically, this is just the screw that holds in the hammer. And we're good now. There's no tension, no spring, nothing, so you don't have to worry about flying parts or anything. Slide that one out. Look at that. Ooh, I've got rust on that one. So not only is it black, it's starting to appear some rust. And see what I'm talking about inside your That's your inside. That's, let's see if I can get, ooh yeah, I can get that. You can clearly see that, right? That's not oil, that's black powder residue and buildup. As well on the hammer, and how it's that foamy look, that's where some of the water from cleaning it got in there when you're scrubbing it down. Now we're going to look deep down in there. Oop, this one's got a little rust on the threads. The actual threads of the screw have rust on it, and that's just the buildup from the moisture and water trying to scrub it down by not and it's fine to do it several times, but 4 to 6 times after firing your black powder, you're going to want to take it apart and get all this out, all that down in there and that buildup. Even if you have a sonic, you can get it out. But like I said, it's good if you're shooting this every week. Once every 2 months, you need to take it completely apart and get it down in a sonic and get some kind of nylon brush down in there and scrub all that stuff out. Most of this will come out in a sonic, and you're going to have to change your water immediately because you'll see the cloud of black residue and black powder that's going to come out. Now, we're trying to take the spring out without thumping ourselves, and you're going to need some kind of pick or small tool. These are indefinitely useful for gunsmithing. You need 4 to 6 of these to disassemble and put back together. And there we went. So I got all my pieces. Oop. There's the last piece that I was needing, and I got all that out. But as you can see, that's the same way. All the parts in this gun are stainless steel, but like I said, it's not rust proof.